I've been hunting these guys for days now. Careful not to spook them. I've been waiting for the perfect moment to strike. It's not garlic! They were so young and innocent. Why? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go back. It's okay. Shh. It's okay. Start off with 1 head of roughly chopped cabbage. Then add a tablespoon and a half of salt. Then, with clean hands, massage the cabbage for 5 minutes. It's important to use bare hands here. There are bacteria that live in the air and on our skin that will carry out the fermentation. We'll learn more about that later. Let the cabbage rest for 20 minutes. It's exhausted. While you wait for the cabbage to take its nap, chop a clove of garlic or 2. Or, if you're trying to ward off vampires, use 5 like I did. The next step will be to add the garlic and massage for another 5 minutes. This time, you should be able to squeeze some of the liquid out of the cabbage. While we do that, let's learn about lactic acid fermentation. In my video on mead, we talked about this equation for glycolysis. Just to recap, this equation summarizes how a cell breaks up glucose, which is a fancy word for sugar, and turns it into different products that then move on to create energy. When there's no oxygen present, the cell is forced to push the products from glycolysis into a fermentation pathway. Different organisms are going to have different products in their fermentation pathways. In our last video, we talked about yeast, and one of their products was alcohol. In this case, we're going to talk about lactic acid bacteria, and you can guess their product is lactate, which is lactic acid. So this is all pretty confusing, but just a general recap if you take nothing else away from this. The cells are doing fermentation because they need to create energy, but there's no oxygen present. In sauerkraut, the 2 most important bacteria are going to be from the Lactobacillus family and the Leuconostoc family. These guys are happy little probiotics, and they're really good for your tummy. By creating a cabbagey, salty environment, we have the perfect conditions for these guys to get fat and happy, while other bacteria starve and die. It's really great for us, really great for them, and really bad for bacteria like botulism. Another reason that botulism can't survive in a fermentation environment is because as these guys are eating up all the sugar in that cabbage, they're releasing acid. This acid has a preservative effect, it lowers the pH, and botulism can't survive in a pH below 4.6. When we go check the pH on our sauerkraut, we'll see that it's below that number. Transfer the cabbage and the liquid to a mason jar. Pack the cabbage below the liquid so it's not exposed to air. Fill any empty space with unchlorinated water. Then find something to keep the cabbage below the liquid. I used an old water bottle lid, but you can buy fermentation weights specifically for this purpose. Put the lid on and allow the sauerkraut to ferment for 10 days at room temperature. Every day, loosen the jar to let a little bit of pressure out, or you're in for a surprise at the end. As I promised earlier, here's the pH after 10 days. It's at 3.6, which means there's no botulism here. If you learned something today, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any questions for me, comment. I want to hear from you. And otherwise, subscribe.